Hey, what's up?
Good morning. We are back at the tennis court. Brandon over here, back to bring 10 more goodies to try.
Yeah.
All right, so today we have one Wilson and one hit. So since it's pro stuff or RF season, we are going to be testing a
What is this?
pro staff 6195. So usually this is it looks exactly like the Pro Labs version that you would see if you buy it from the Wilson website, but this is the 16 by 19, which doesn't exist on the website, so you can't buy this from there.
And what about this one?
Second one is speed, but not a speed. It's a Pro Stock speed, which is not a Yannick Sinner frame. This is thicker. Let me grab that other one there. So this is the 301.4 that we've already gone over, the Sinner frame, and this is the TGT339.2, which is the pro stock model for the Graphene 360 series, which was 3 generations ago. Yes, 3 generations ago. So Graphene Touch, based off the Graphene Touch, based off the Graphene 360. But after the Graphene Touch, it went to 23 mm. So you can see very clearly that it's thicker when you put them side by side.
Yeah.
And then you can see that this is also a little bit different. Some things have changed a little bit, but
Yeah.
like for the camera, like I think you can, from the other side, probably able to see the beam is a lot thicker on the 339.2 with a slight difference at the end of the grommet as well. There's like a trench over here, probably make it more aerodynamic. Is my assumption. Yeah, and
this one has a share hole.
Correct. This is not strung right now, but this is a 1619 with share hole, so the pattern's a bit more open. But this one has a more standard 16 by 19, like spin friendly rackets. So we're gonna test it. What are the specs of this?
This one also comes at 300 gram unstrung. The strung swing weight I just measured a couple of minutes ago is 335.
Okay, quite beefy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hadn't measured it before this. I just brought it up for us to test. So what do we have it strung with today?
We strung both with restring sync. This one is 17 gauge. This one is 18 gauge. At 50 pounds and at 46 pounds.
Yeah, probably when thinner on the 6195 because it's a 95 square inch frame. Yeah, so 18 gauge makes more sense.
Yeah.
And then dropping the tension a little bit because smaller hit size. So, but we'll see. Like I've tried that. Like it works. It still works at like 50 pounds. I've played that with 4G. So we'll see how this goes, and then we'll be back from the court.
All right.
Yep. Oh. Shot.
This is good.
You like it?
I love it.
Makes sense.
Feel exactly like a pro stock.
Yeah.
I think it feels closer to
the Sinner than anything else, right? Yeah. Just thicker.
Yeah, and easier to play with.
Yeah.
Nice. I tried the head TGT 339.2.
Yeah. 16 by 19.
So speed graphene 360 more
MP. Yeah.
MP. Yeah. I would say I love it. Like from the first shot, the pocketing feel on this racket, it was like, oh my god, this is what you should feel like. You know, the pro stock racket should feel like this. It's super plush. It's stable enough. At first, I thought it's gonna be a little bit unstable because the weight is kind of comes in low, 300 gram. But with a little bit high swing weight, 335, uncustomized, I think it's enough. And it doesn't swing that beefy.
Yeah.
Like it feels like low 330.
I'm pretty
like 329, 327.
When I brought it to you, we had some lead on the 3 and 9, which we took off, which generally is supposed to make your racket more torsionally stable. But I suspect, I've not checked, but I do think there is some lead under the bumper. I don't know because like I don't think like if it comes in like pro stock form, the swing weight shouldn't be that beefy. But I tend to think that like you don't feel like it's that hard to swing because once at a low static and a high swing, so it's quite polarized in that sense. The moment you get to your contact point, like the racket just does all the work for you after that. Like, once you're able to get the racket to contact, like it's just gonna keep going because the weight's in the head and it allows you to get through the ball very nicely. But yeah,
Yeah, and it's light enough. I think it's really fast. It's a
it's
fast
whippy.
racket.
It's whippy,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah,
I have no problem playing with this, and I think I hit pretty good, like
yeah,
heavy shot with this one, especially on my backhand, right?
yeah,
Yeah, on the forehand, sometimes when I spin the ball,
yeah.
like a lot, the ball kind of falls short a little bit. But when I hit more flat, I think it flies a little
Yeah.
bit. I think we can up the tension on this one.
Yeah, I think so.
Now it's like 50 pounds. It's so super comfortable.
Yeah,
I think it's still powerful. It, it's pretty launchy a little bit.
it is. Like
Yeah,
I think it's launchier than the Sinner that we tried.
yeah.
How do you compare it? I mean, do you remember your play test of both like
The
the
Sinner?
current Oxetic 2.0 speed and the Oxetic 1 speed, which are, I mean, of course, in like recent history, those two rackets have been very popular, right?
Yeah.
Speed has been one of the hits best-selling lines from the retail perspective. So how do you remember like playing with the Oxetic 2 and like how does this compare, you know?
I think the Oxided 2 is super muted compared to this one.
Okay.
This one it has a lot of feel, but
Right.
it's a soft feel.
Yeah.
It's different
And it doesn't feel like
than
it's
mute,
dampening
right?
technology, right? It doesn't feel so much like dampening technology.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like dampening, but it's soft.
Just has a nice flex to it.
Yeah,
But
nice
it really still sends the ball like when you make
Yeah.
good contact with the racket.
And it flex a lot at throat area.
Yeah. Which
but
is yeah.
normally the racket at this like kind of weight class, if it flex too much here, it's going to be unstable. But this one is not.
Yeah.
And I think it feels a little bit like the US Inner,
Yeah.
the 301.
I think because the weight is quite similar right now.
Yeah.
Because mine's at 337, this is at 335, 320
Ah.
something unstrung. It's just that like I've played this back in Singapore. Like it swings as fast, but it's not, I don't find it as maneuverable as like the Sinner because the Sinner has a thinner beam. And like 1mm, like I know like size does matter. Like yeah, I think it does matter in this case. Like when you're swinging, it still, especially for me, like on serve, the thinner beam helps me. Like because it gets through the air faster, especially if you're trying to hit a kick or a slice. Like you really want a thinner beam to get there. But this doesn't play badly at all. Like the I just find a launch angle a little bit higher. It feels more like a singles racket to me. Because like if you play doubles with this, like you're really gonna have to hit flatter. If not, like if you hit at that launch angle, everyone's just gonna poach your forehands and your backhands. But yeah,
For me, I think it's a easier version of the Sinner.
fair. Yeah,
I
makes
think
sense.
I play with this like very effortlessly.
Yeah,
On the Sinner, it feels like I have to push myself a lot
Yeah.
to like hit every shot to
exactly.
bring the head around. But this one is like it goes through the ball really easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think there's advantages to having a 23mm beam too. Like you're gonna get a bit more power, a little bit more. Most people will say possibly stability, but I think generally at 23mm the stiffness might. But then again, I don't think the stiffness is higher. It doesn't feel stiff to me at all.
No,
yeah.
it's not. Okay.
But that was just our first impressions. We're gonna hit a bit more, maybe
Yeah.
do some serves with
Yeah.
the rackets,
All right.
test a bit like heavier shots and stuff like that. But we'll get back to you on that.
Okay. Nice. Ah, God damn it.
Oh shit! Too good. I missed that.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh my. All right, break.
All right.
Jesus Christ.
All right. So after we play testing these two, which one do you like more?
So I think like if I was to play like a match, like if I were to take one of them and like go out, play long term, like actually like try to switch to one of these, it would probably still be 100 square inch frame. So for me, it would be the speed. I like the 6195 a lot. It's a great racket, but I think in this like current, in, like the way tennis is played right now, especially at like our amateur level, if we're not competing like regularly and stuff like that, playing a 95 is still very very demanding. Like I think even for that's why even many pros are switching from 95s to bigger hit sizes. Murray has moved from his 95 to his E Zone 100, but he's retired. So, but I think there's a general trend that you don't see that many 95 square inch rackets in the even on the pro tour, other than players that have been using it for like a very very long time and find it difficult to switch, like Novak, a few of the other PT57A users. But yeah, I think at our level, like playing socially, like playing a lot, the 100 square inch frame is 98 or 100 is probably something that is going to serve us better. And also because like when you're playing like really fast from the baseline, um, it's just so much easier to hit with topspin with a 100 square inch frame. Like I can't hit with spin on the 95, but like you just don't get that kind of depth with the shape. You can get depth if you hit flatter, like through the ball, like really try to go through the shot a little bit more compared to like ripping over the top of the ball. Like it tends to drop a bit short if you're going to use a 95 and try to rip with a lot of topspin. But if you play a little bit flatter, like hit through your shots a lot, like you're going to get a very good result with the 95 too. But you really have to be focused, because like any like off center hits, even though this one I would say is pretty forgiving already as a 95. But yeah, the like for me the speed, I like this racket a lot. It's not for me, like I prefer the Sinner still, the 301.4, because of a few things. Like I was telling you just now, like I feel that when you get to the contact point, the Sinner with the slightly thinner beam, it is just more maneuverable even at the same swing weight. So you get a bit more control, and like I think even Beckett says something like tip awareness. Like you know where the racket is, and you know how much control you're gonna get over that ball. But it's it's more present on a thinner beam for me than on the thicker beam here. But this still plays like close to that in terms of the feel, in terms of the ball pocketing. The Sinner has a bit more of a explosive sound when you hit the sweet spot. This, you hear like the pocketing, like the ball sitting on the string bit and then sending the ball out, but the sound isn't as loud as the Sinner.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with that. This one feels probably the closest to the Sinner.
Among everything that we've played
Yeah.
so far.
Yeah.
I think we need to go back to like a H22 1619 and see like whether we can mimic that kind of feel, because the H22 also has this very soft buttery feel in the flex in the throat.
Yeah.
Gives you a lot of power for free, but it doesn't feel like muted compared to like a lot of the newer frames. Yeah. What are your thoughts?
So I agree with you about this one compared to your 301.4.
Yeah.
That okay, it feels very close. For me, I think it plays easier for me,
Okay.
probably because it's lighter and swing rate is not like
As high.
as high.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it doesn't have that explosiveness like you said at the sweet spot. I think the Sinner, when you really hit the sweet spot, the ball kind of like really goes fast and it explodes the ball.
Yeah.
This one, it was like okay overall,
Yeah.
but it just doesn't have that. But I think it's more forgiving and very easy to play with.
Yeah,
like,
I
for
would
my
agree.
level. Yeah.
I think to me, like, it lacks a bit of that finishing power, because it has the power, but like when I'm going for a shot, like a mid-court ball, a short ball, I'm not just looking for power, I'm looking for a bit more placement. And I think the thinner beam does help you control the ball better. I mean, that's what thinner beams were meant to do from the very beginning. Like, get a bit more precision and control over the shot, over like where you're going to hit it into the court. But yeah, like it's still really solid. Like you get, if you're trying to finish off a short ball, you're gonna get a lot of power behind the ball without that stiffness. But I find a little bit of control missing. But I'm really nitpicking over here. Like it's a great racket. Yeah.
Yeah, but For me, I think overall it is so fine. It's a very good racket. It feels, yeah, it feels good. But what I would do is probably add like 5 grams of lead to the handle, just that, and then done.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think it could be a little bit more headlight, make it a little bit more
yeah,
maneuverable. Yeah, that would probably change it a little bit, make it a bit even more whippy.
yeah.
Yeah,
I think the weight on the head is already
yeah.
perfect.
The other thing that we would do is probably up the tension a bit.
Oh yeah.
So far, like these 100 square inch frames, especially the speeds, I don't know, like for me, most of the speeds, like even the retail ones, like anything below 52 is just too much power.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just too much power.
On
Like,
the retail as well, like on the Oxide 1.0,
yeah,
2.0. I normally strung that with 48
yeah,
and I can play with it, but on some shots that I really go for it, it tends to give me too much of a power.
yeah.
This one also. So I think, and because this one, I think it flex even more than the retail.
Yeah,
It's super soft, so you can go like way higher than that if you want.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I do feel that because it doesn't, I don't feel like it's so much dampening, but the RA is still pretty low. I think when you go for your shots, even at a higher tension, like usually people when they go higher tension, they're afraid of like tennis elbow, that kind of problems, especially when you're stringing full poly. But this racket is so like it feels so soft at contact that like even if I go to like 56, I don't think there'll be any trouble. Yeah. But there are some, I mean, some other 100 square inch frames that you play, they're stiffer, like power, like actual power frames, like the FX 500 or the like the Pure Drive, like
Yeah.
your typical power frames. Like those, if I go at 56, like I'm really gonna feel it in my arm, like after like 45 minutes of hitting. Like yeah, but even this or the Sinner, when I go like 45 minutes, an hour of hitting nonstop at 56 pounds, like there's no problem at all.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
we tried the Sinner at very high
Yeah,
tension
we tried it at
before.
62, like because
62.
we're
Yeah.
crazy. I mean that's a bit extreme. Like we're not Yannick, you know.
Yeah.
Like
But for me, normally I wouldn't go that high.
yeah,
I'm a low tension
exactly.
guy, but I hit with that 62 pounds, no discomfort.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that string is super body and I don't
Yeah,
have the power to send the ball over the
correct.
net. But still, I wouldn't say comfortable, but
Yeah,
it's not, I don't have any issue
but I
with
would
my
say that you
arms.
get rewarded for a higher tension by allowing it to give you a bit more free control
Mm-hmm.
because the racket itself is really powerful. Like I wouldn't consider this like a lot less powerful than your standard power frames.
Yeah.
Like a Pure Drive, like 25, 26 inch beam, like that's powerful, but this delivers it in a way that is more manageable. Like it's controllable kind of power. Like when I
Yeah.
play with a Pure Drive, I know that I'm going to hit it hard, but I don't necessarily know where exactly it's going to land
Yeah.
in the court. Like I have a lot more confidence with a thinner beam and like with the amount of power behind this frame. Sure, it's definitely not as powerful as a Pure Drive because no racket is, you can't make a 60-ish RA frame hit as hard as a 71. But like yeah, it's much nicer to play with from a long-term perspective.
Yeah.
I think even a beginner would find this very nice to hit with. That's high praise from him. Like it's quite hard. Like it's been so long, right? He still can't get rid of his V8 blade. You know, it still goes back
Yeah.
to old
I'm
faithful.
still using the
Yeah,
Blade V8 newer.
even though he's got like a quarter right here.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
quarter feels better. Like
Then
of
the blade
course,
V8. Yeah,
but
it's more
it's
demanding. It's a bit
demanding.
more demanding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
To me,
not like that one. That
correct.
one is not
The
demanding.
free power. I mean, the blade is never really a powerful racket. Like the K blades, like the 1820s, like the Sabalenka, it's stiffer. I can feel the power behind that.
Yeah.
But it's also not dampened. It's not muted. It's not muted
It's not
or
muted.
dampened. So you feel connected to the ball, and you get that control and that power. But it's not the most comfortable feeling at times.
Yeah.
The quarter is very very. I don't know. Like I don't know the actual area of the quarter, but it feels like 61, 62. You know,
I think it's not as soft and as flex as the speed,
perhaps.
but compared to the
Yeah.
blade, like it plays really similar to the blade.
Yeah.
Just that it's softer and it's not dampening.
Yeah.
Yeah. So nowadays all the rackets they try to be soft by dampening the feel.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it makes the vibration, it blocks the vibration to your arm, and
Because
and
they
people
want
are like,
yeah
okay, it's soft.
they want to try to give you that power without sacrificing like the
Yeah.
and you have to. And the main way you get power from most of these rackets is through stiffness.
Yeah.
And to combat that, they add a lot of technology to reduce that. You know, so like recent frames, I don't think we've liked them very much. Yeah, I don't like the V9 blade at all.
I don't like the V9 as well.
Yeah, I don't like the V9 blade. I don't like I'm not a big fan. I mean, this is a hot take. I'm not a big fan of the E zone, but a lot of people like the E zone, so I'm not going to.
I think it's
throw
a
shade at
good
it.
performance frame.
Yeah, like
You plays good
yeah.
with that.
Many people play well with that. Like and I don't play badly with it. I'm just not a big fan of the way it hits the ball. Like to me, right?
I play really well with it.
Yeah, but
have to admit.
I never ever see you in an E zone. You see, like yeah, it's
But the
it's
feel is
personal
not,
preference.
like-
Yeah.
I mean, if you have something like this,
Yeah, I mean, but we have options, right?
Yeah.
And we like sometimes we have those options for you if you want to, if you're able to find us. But like, yeah, it's not very often that you can find us. But yes,
yeah. So in summary, yeah, I like that one.
yeah,
Another point is, if you don't say it's a 23 millimeter beam, I wouldn't feel it.
true.
Like
Yeah.
I think it's more maneuverable than the retail speed as well.
Yeah,
For some reason, I don't know. Maybe the weight
I think
distribution.
we might need to try it side by side with the retail speed
Yeah.
to see the We should probably string it up with the next to a retail speed and then like test it out, put it through the paces and see how it plays. But yeah, like I mean, when I first picked it up, like one thing is this racket has quite a high launch angle. Like I'll say
Mhm.
that. Yeah, it's a very good for singles. Like if you want that launch angle, you want free power with that launch angle, like you can hit the ball pretty deep, like effortlessly with this frame. Plus, it still has decent control. Like the only, I don't know, does it slice well for you?
No,
Yeah, like
it doesn't slice well for me.
yeah, it doesn't slice well for me either. That's what I was gonna get at. Like depending on whether you use the slice a lot in your game. Like
Mhm.
yeah, it's really good for your standard ground strokes, forehands, backhands. How about the serves?
The serve is pretty good,
Yeah.
like very powerful, and I think what's special about the serve is the placement.
Mm.
Like I think when I think, okay, I'm gonna go left, I'm gonna
Yeah.
go wide, the racket really gives me that.
And it
Maybe a
doesn't
little bit too much as
it
well.
doesn't feel like usually like a middle thicker beam like 23.
Mhm.
You're not gonna get such easy control on that serve, like
Yeah.
placement wise. But this one does it pretty well. So I would say the main drawback, if you were to put one on it, is the slice. Like
Yeah, but I think if you add weight at the handle,
it might be
probably
better.
it helps.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
think now the issue on the slice is when I slice, I think the frame over here kind of twists a bit.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's the problem. So maybe add weight a little bit.
And
we
maybe
can do
even
that
maybe
because
yeah.
it's 300 grams.
And it's
Yeah.
not going to affect the swing weight by putting a bit of weight in the throat and a bit of weight in the handle. Like
Yeah,
you
yeah,
can still
something like that.
adjust it up. Yeah, but that's the advantage of like having a racket that starts out very light. You know,
Mhm.
so some people. That's why I think one sidetrack here, but I think it's very good that Hit makes like the MPL frames.
Mhm.
They're the same thickness, just everything is
Yeah.
lighter.
The same
Right,
same
so-
mold, right?
Yeah, so if you want to like beef it up and get it to your own spec, it might be a better idea to buy the MP Lite
Mhm.
and then customize it yourself. If like you have access to like customization tools and things like that, might not be a bad idea, especially if you're looking for a specific like weight and swing weight that you want to
Yeah.
play with.
But compared to the retail, one thing that I feel, I talk about the maneuverability, right?
Yeah,
I think I play a lot with the speed retail as well, the MP,
right.
and I think what it makes me feel on the speed MP, it feels fat on this way.
Interesting.
Yeah, every time. I don't know why.
On
Maybe
the retail.
weight. Yeah, on the retail.
Mm. So
On
it
the
feels
retail
like this
speed
part
MP.
is like it feels like it's a bit stuck sometimes, like not maneuverable or like
It's maneuverable, but when you kind of go like this, I think it feels fat over here.
okay.
Over here, and every time I hit my backhand,
Yeah,
it feels like the racket is shorter than what it's supposed to be.
interesting.
That's a weird feeling.
I've not played enough with the retail speed. I mean, I hit with it a few times, and then I'm like, yeah, it's just like every other speed MP like retail that I've played with is quite similar. It's just more dampening, right?
Yeah.
And that you can summarize most retail frames like that these days. Yeah.
But one thing I want to say, I played with the Graphene 360 before.
Yeah.
Yeah. For like couple months, and this one doesn't feel like it at all. Feels like a complete different racket. But the only thing that reminds me of is how fast it is. Yeah.
Finally finally lives up to its name.
Yeah.
Finally
Yeah.
speedy.
I think the Graphene 360 is fast
Oh, okay.
for me. Like compared to the 360 Plus, compared to the oxided 1, oxided 2.
Right.
I think it's faster.
Goes through the air a
Yeah.
little bit quicker. Okay.
Feels like a spin frame.
Yeah.
And this one really does that. Yeah. But
Okay.
the feeling is so pro stock. Like
Yeah.
this is what it's supposed to feel
Feel
like.
like.
Yeah. Okay. So speed, what is this? TGT 339.2.
339.2. Yeah,
Okay.
like hidden their pro stock codes, man.
Yeah.